Chris Stevens.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, can I, firstly, as others have, pay tribute to the person who secured the debate, the co-chairs of the All-Party Parliamentary Group, the honourable members, Father of the House and the honourable member for Kingston Paul Horn North, and thank them as a Vice-Chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group on Contaminated Blood for all their work, and indeed my good friend, the honourable member for Perth and North Perthshire, who I know was a former chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group and who set up a meeting last week with groups Haemophilia Scotland and the Scottish Infected Blood Forum, and I pay tribute to those campaigners too, as well as my constituents Cathy Young, Nicola Stewart and Paul Gallagher, who are regularly in touch with me about this issue. They all... of course.
May I, through him, say how important it has been to the whole UK campaign for the Scottish participation. They provide a lead, they've always been there, and we're grateful to them.
Grateful to the Father of the House for those kind words, and I'm sure that campaigners in Scotland will be very grateful to hear those words. Those campaigners, Mr Deputy Speaker, are driving us all on. They're driving us on to continue to fight on their behalf and continue to seek that justice, because they've been met for far too long, in my view, Mr Deputy Speaker, with prevarication, procrastination, delay, and often have been, as a community, have been subjected to marginalised, and they've been ostracised. And I'll give way to the Honourable Chair.
Mr Deputy Speaker, I think the honourable member quite rightly is pointing out the Scottish dimension of this. And of course, when I mentioned Mr Donald Ross, he lives in the North Highlands. Mr Robert Ross, I correct his name. And of course, it's all over the UK, this problem. That's the point about it. From the four corners of the UK, it's a huge issue. It matters whether you be in the Highlands or whether you be in London or in Cornwall.
Well, I absolutely agree with that, and I thank the honourable gentleman for pointing that out. And if I led them down another political path, I do apologise for that. But I want to make this clear, Mr Deputy Speaker. There are far too many people who have been marginalised and ostracised as a result of this scandal. And that does include those who suffer from hepatitis B. And I've had to write to Sir Brian on behalf of the Scottish Infected Blood Forum, because in page 31 of Sir Brian's second interim report, he does indicate that hepatitis C has clearly been found to be one of the infections passed on by contaminated blood products and should therefore be included in the compensation scheme. But that did not appear, that recommendation, in the actual recommendations of the report. So I've written to Sir Brian to seek clarity on that issue, because I believe that clarity should be provided. That should, however, not delay what we're asking the government to do. Now, Mr Deputy Speaker, for those who either watched or were in the chamber this morning at Cabinet Office questions, I did ask the Paymaster General, I took the opportunity to ask the Paymaster General whether they accept the principle of the arm's-length body overseeing compensation payments, and I see that the record is now up online for those members who want to view it now. It does quote the Minister as saying that the government's not made any final determination on that particular issue. And I have to say I was very disappointed to hear that from the Paymaster General, because I do believe that the principle of an arm's-length body to oversee the compensation payments is something that must be agreed to today, Mr Deputy Speaker. Because there seems to be a suggestion from previous statements from the government that they're looking at alternative ways of doing this. Well, can I suggest to them, I hope they're not going to look at things like, for example, how we administer personal independence payments dealing with this, because if that's the way they want to look at it, if they were looking at that, for example, then I'll be polite about this, Mr Deputy Speaker, the government should jog on. The government needs to agree the principle of that arm's length body. And why is that important, Mr Deputy Speaker? Well, it's important for a number of reasons. Because we know that there are issues around death certificates. This has been raised consistently by a number of years by the far of the House, that we know there are people's death certificates which don't really reflect what happened here because of stigma and because of other issues. And that is going to be something that an independent arm's-length body is going to have to determine. It's going to have to determine to look at death certificates and those issues. It's going to have to determine, would you believe, Mr Deputy Speaker, there are people who are not, as I understand it, not getting interim payments because they're in a cohabiting couple relationship. Now, the government's already conceded this point when it comes to benefit payments, the bereaved support payments for cohabiting couples. I know that, Mr Deputy Speaker, because I'm one of the members of Parliament who's been pushing for the government to accept that principle. It's now accepted that principle in law that people can apply for bereaved support payments if they're in a cohabiting couple relationship. And also, an arm's-length body could determine the issue of carers. I feel very passionate about this. We know, Mr Deputy Speaker, that there are carers, family members who've looked after loved ones for decades. They had to give up their careers. They had to give up their educational opportunities. They had to do that in order to care for those loved ones. And I want to see a statement today that recognises, from the government, that recognises the whole issue around carers and those who had to care for those loved ones. Now, I'm going to make a prediction, Mr Deputy Speaker. I know that that's very dangerous in politics. But I'm going to make a prediction that we're going to hear the phrase working at pace when the Paymaster General rises to his feet. I've already got a £5 bet with another honourable member on that, Mr Deputy Speaker. But can I say, it does, I'm afraid to say, look like a snail's pace rather than anything else. And the fact that there's now been suggestions that Rule 9 requests from the inquiry have been given, as I understand it, not just to government ministers, but the Leader of the Opposition may very well have received a Rule 9 request on the simple basis that the Leader of the Opposition is in the unique position where he could be sitting on the other side of the chamber at some determinate point in the future. But I think the Minister does need to answer the question whether Rule 9 requests have been given, because I think that there's a very real concern of government statements saying they're looking at alternative schemes. And I think that that is something which has to... And I want to join the Honourable Member for Wansbeck in asking this question. It seems a very simple question. Who's the lead civil servant in the Cabinet Office dealing with this? We know it was Sue Gray. We know that she's applied for some other job and may or may not be in that job. But who is the lead civil servant for members of this House to contact about what's happening on this very issue and where the government is on that very issue? I hope the Minister will be able to tell us that. Mr Deputy Speaker, I join others in this House. All we are asking for is a simple ask: justice. We want to see those who suffered through this scandal receiving the justice they so rightfully deserve.
Hear, hear.